Right, let's talk UFC Vegas 104. We're going to do the matchmaking. I didn't do a recap video yesterday. I just was hungover as shit. And it was a really good card. It really was. We had a lot of good finishes. I think we had 9 finishes out of like 13 fights. So it's just another one of those Apex cards that looks shit on paper and ends up delivering. So they just kind of keep coming. So let's do the matchmaking though. I did go 7-6 on the card, and that I think brings my overall record to like 65 and 44, so not the best card. A lot of underdogs happen. I did hit some of them. Hit the co-main in the main event for underdogs. I got Hernandez right. I got Lima right. I got Span wrong, and I got Cunningham wrong. Those are 2 underdogs that I got wrong. Vallejos looked sick. He's going to challenge for a title one day. He's 23, so it's not going to be for like 7 years, I don't think. But like he'll challenge for a title, I think, one day. So we're going to get into this, though. Roman Dolidze got a win over Marvin Vettori. Nailed that prediction. 49-46. He called out Adesanya. He called out Whitaker. I actually think the Adesanya fight makes sense. Now, hear me out. I know that beating Vettori, Holland, and Anthony Smith isn't warranting you of a traditional Israel Adesanya fight, but Adesanya is now coming off 3 losses in a row, 2 of which title fights, 1 of which a main event spot. Nasruddin Imavov, Sean Strickland, Dricus du Plessis. We're not going to see Izzy versus Robert Whitaker again. We don't want to see Izzy versus Cannonier. That was a boring shit fight the first time. We're not going to see him against Vettori. You can try and get Anthony Hernandez to fight him. I don't think you're going to have much luck with that. I think Dolidze's a matchup that he'll take. I think it's one of those matchups that's very winnable for Izzy. And it's going to give Dolidze what he wants. He's like, oh, I get a shot at Adesanya. Let's go. And Izzy's like, dude, I can get back in the win column against this guy. And I think he probably will. If he gets to the ground, Dolidze's going to twist him up like a pretzel because Dolidze's jiu-jitsu is fucking insane. But I think this is an approachable fight for Adesanya. I think Dolidze would love to have this fight. Dolidze's been pretty active. Got a lot of respect for that. He's been very, very active recently. I think he fought 3 times in 2024. He already has fought here in 2025. I'm willing to bet he's willing to make a turnaround. Dolidze versus Adesanya. You can do this when you go to Perth. You can make this the co-main event. Dolidze Adesanya when you have Volk. I know Volk's probably winning the title, guys. Same with JDM. So those guys aren't going to be headlining. Honestly, you can do the headliner of UFC Perth, the fight night that happens in whatever, August or something like that. Be Dolidze versus Adesanya. You can actually have that headline. You can have Whitaker versus Strickland headline. You can have Izzy versus Dolidze as the co-main. Like, that's approachable. So I think Dolidze versus Adesanya makes a lot of sense. I would love to see it be 5 rounds. I think most Izzy fights should try and be 5 rounds, but, he didn't really need the 5 rounds last time. Because Imavov's that fucking good. But you look at it, it's like Izzy got slept by Imavov. Dolidze went to a decision with him. One judge gave it 47-47, which is ridiculous. I thought it was a 48-46 fight. Would have been 49-46, but they took a point from Imavov. They took a point from my boy. I think Dolidze's tremendously durable. And I just don't think his offense is that good where, like, Izzy's going to be like, dude, there's no way I'm fighting this killer and destroying my career right now. So I think Dolidze versus Israel Adesanya is the next fight to make. It makes a lot of sense for me. You're doing Dolidze a favor where if he doesn't win, it's like you're only gatekeeping now, which he should really only be gatekeeping, but he's on a 3-fight win streak. Like, give him a little bit. Adesanya, it's an approachable, winnable fight for him, so I think Izzy versus Dolidze makes a lot of sense. Let's make it 5 rounds when you go to Perth. You can do it as the main event. Honestly, it would work. But we're going to move on to Marvin Vettori. There is one fight I want, dude. There's literally only one fight I want for Marvin Vettori, and it's Brendan Allen. Why is this not a thing, dude? Why is this not... They got in a fight in a casino. They're both coming off losses. They're both kind of hilarious to listen to. One delusionally so. One is just... Marvin's kind of retarded. Like he is, dude. It's just... This makes sense to me. This is your classic Apex fight night. Main event. Honestly, just put the... dude, I really want this to be on like a pay-per-view, though. You do Allen versus Vettori, main card opener of some pay-per-view, 3 rounds, just so they can shit-talk each other on the presser the entire time. I say this is the one to make. Vettori versus Allen. We've been long overdue for this. It originally got booked. It fell through and Vettori got hurt. and Chris Curtis ended up taking Vettori's place. I think it makes sense. They're both coming off losses right now. Brendan Allen to Anthony Hernandez and Imavov. Vettori to Cannonier and Dolidze. Make this happen. Put this on the July pay-per-view, honestly. I'm cool with that. July pay-per-view, August pay-per-view. You put this as like the first fight on the main card. They're going to talk shit. It's not good enough for International Fight Week, so don't do that. But this is the fight to make. Moving on. Chidi and Njokuani, another win, man. 3 in a row, and he's calling out ranked opponents. You missed weight. You're not getting a ranked opponent yet. Your last 3 wins are also Alessio Zaleski dos Santos, which is a good win, great finish. It was a very good performance. But before that, it was Jared Gooden and Reese McKee. Randy Brown. The 2 big guys at middleweight, I want to say they're like both 6'3", 6'4". Long, rangy frames. Predominantly like to strike, use their length and their range, their teep kicks, but both can work in the clinch. I think it's a good matchup. Chidi and Njokuani, Randy Brown, International Fight Week prelims. This is a great one to have on International Fight Week. Put as the prelims. Moving on. Anthony Hernandez. Alex Hernandez. Win over Kurt Hollabaugh. A lot of people think Hollabaugh got robbed. I think it was close. I think you can kind of give it either way. I think I gave it to Hernandez, but I picked Hernandez, so I'll say maybe I'm a little biased. But I went Alex Hernandez. He doesn't get fucking ranked opponents for these things, guys. Like, it's Terrence McKinney. I mean, like, why would you not make this fight? 2 cardio queens, going at it. I just think it makes sense. It hasn't happened yet. Both guys like to strike, but both guys can grapple if need be. I'd be interested to see how it goes. They both got some pop in their hands, but they haven't fought each other. I look at this matchup and I'm like, yeah, this is a good early prelim for International Fight Week. Yeah, this is a good made card opener of some random fight night in the Apex. Anthony Hernandez, Alex Hernandez. I'm going to keep doing that, bro. Alex Hernandez versus Terrence McKinney. Book it. Damone Blackshear got a win. His only loss to Montel Jackson in the rankings, man, but he got a win over Cody Gibson. He does kind of get beat up on the feet, though. I'll say that. His grappling's nasty. Needs to work on his hands. I think a good matchup for him is Ricky Simone, a guy coming off a win. Ricky Simone's coming off a great impressive win over Javid Basharat. Before that, he had a couple of consecutive losses that were pretty dominant. Like Mario Batista beat him up, Vinicius Oliveira beat him up, but those are 2 guys that are working their way up the ranks. So again, it's like, is Ricky Simone just drawing the short straw of Song Yadong also? Like, these are the guys he's fighting. I think Ricky Simone versus Damone Blackshear makes a lot of sense. Both guys coming off a win recently. Their schedules are going to line up. Neither took too much damage. I'd be very interested to see how this goes. Ricky Simone's a good wrestler. Doesn't really get caught in submissions that crazily. Damone Blackshear has great submissions, could use some help on the feet, but Blonde Simone might get this one done. I think Damone Blackshear, Ricky Simone makes a lot of sense, though. So we're going to move on. Brenison Haberio got a good submission win over DR. You do him a favor, but you're also going to do this guy a favor. I think the Ibo Aslan fight's good to make. Neither guys are ranked. Both guys have good, insane knockout power. But Brenison Haberio's coming off a win, looking to go up in the rankings. Ibo Aslan's coming off a loss, going to have to look down in the rankings probably. And I think it's winnable for Ibo Aslan, so you can keep the Turkish fan base like excited, watching. Be like, oh, we still have a prospect. He just, got checked by the great Iwan Kudalaba. We love Kudalaba on this channel, by the way, guys. Brenison Haberio, you got to win. I think you reward him by just looking up in the rankings. He's got 2 in a row now. Caio Machado's, he's no stud, right, of the light heavyweight division, but Brenison Haberio now has 2 wins. One against Caio Machado, the other one against DR Nizagabadalava. So, whatever his name was. Yeah. Kevin Vallejos. It's my guy, dude. He's going to be fun to watch. Great knockout win over Seung-Won Choi. The patience is there. The head movement's there. The power's there. The precision's there. The timing's there. Dude, this guy's awesome. Calls out Gene Silva again on the mic. You're not getting Gene Silva right now. Because Bryce Mitchell has to dominate him first, buddy. By the way, I might seriously pick Bryce Mitchell in that fight, guys. I'm not joking, but we'll get there when we get there. Kevin Vallejos, Listen, he's 23 years old. I think he's going to be eventually fighting for a title at some point. But he's 23. I don't think he gets to that title until 30. I do think he'll have a loss or 2 or 3 losses maybe along the way against some of the top tier guys. Andre Fili, though. My thought process here is like, give him a guy that has a name that a lot of people are going to be able to tune in and be like, dude, this guy's a tricky vet. Tricky vet. Can Kevin Vallejos get past the tricky vet? I think it's winnable for Vallejos. And I think Fili's willing to take that. Fili's down to fight anyone. He's just trying to kind of make a bag before he ends up retiring. So I think Andre Fili, Kevin Vallejos makes a ton of sense. International Fight Week prelims. Done. Done. You're going to get hype behind the guy. It's International Fight Week. People are going to be watching. Even casuals are going to be watching the prelims. A lot of people know who Andre Fili is because he likes his big, boaty Latinas. And I think this is one where Kevin Vallejos can have an insanely good performance, great call out on the mic after, and get a ton of fans from a name like Andre Fili. This is what Andre Fili you're keeping him around for, is guys like Kevin Vallejos. Try and build a name off of him. Or to say, he's really not there yet, but we know Vallejos is. So I think Kevin Vallejos versus Andre Fili makes sense. International Fight Week prelims. Done. Waldo Cortez Acosta is now coming off a couple wins in a row, dude. The guy's got a win streak. And I'm not hating as much anymore. That was a pretty entertaining performance against Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann stinks. Just going to say that. IQ gone. No leg kicks. Allergic to throwing them once he's having success with them. It is what it is. He would beat my ass, guys. Just because I'm talking shit doesn't mean that I don't know that he would beat the fuck out of me. Waldo Cortez Acosta called out Tai Tuivasa or Derek Lewis. I'd like to see the Tai Tuivasa fight. I actually think Derek Lewis would slump Waldo Cortez Acosta still. I just think he's kind of like that. I think the Tai Tuivasa fight makes sense, though. Listen, you're going to have to tell Tai Tuivasa to cut another 50 pounds so he can make heavyweight. But it's time to get back in the cage, brother. It's been, as of today, it's been a year and a day since Tai Tuivasa stepped in the octagon. He's drinking a lot. He's getting way too fat to even be able to compete. And he's on a 5-fight losing streak. You got to have him either defend his ranking spot or bounce, bro. So I think Tai Tuivasa versus Waldo Cortez Acosta is the right kind of matchup to make. Do not make it a main event, Dana. We do not want to see this as an Apex main event, so don't do that. But I think this is one you can put on the main card of an Apex card. When they go to Perth, you can do this on the main card of the fight night. Waldo Cortez Acosta, Tai Tuivasa. Oh, and it's been less than a year since he's fought, dude. I forgot Tuivasa fought Rosenstrike. Yeah, that was a very forgettable fight. Ryan Spann with the loss. Walter Walker. This just feels like one of those performances where Ryan Spann can have success on the feet. Walter Walker shoots a takedown. They both go for a knee bar, and Walter Walker can get another knee bar. I think it makes sense. 2 heavyweights. Spann's not looking at the rankings for heavyweight anymore. He just lost to Waldo. I'd say he's looking just outside him. Walter Walker is the guy that's looking to get on the inside. I think Ryan Spann versus Walter Walker makes sense. I believe he's fought Johnny Walker before too, Ryan Spann, so I think this makes a lot of sense for Walter Walker to take this fight. But that's the one I'm going with. And then Andre Lima, who I believe will be challenging for a title within the next 3 years. This guy's a beast. So well-rounded, great jiu-jitsu, good power, tremendous striking. The Muay Thai's insane. It's time for the Charles Johnson test. Listen, if Johnson beat Temirov, I'd be like, nah, dude, he's got to look up at the top 5 of the rankings, like top 7 at the rankings. But he lost. It's Lima's turn to get a shot into the rankings. And this is a good test for him to see, like, is he able to hang in the top 15? You got to pass the Charles Johnson test. I think Andre Lima versus Charles Johnson is the fight to make in this division. So let me know what you think of the matchups, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. But these are the matchmaking matchups that I've put together.